All right. So today, just a little bit of context and hopefully a tool that you can use with your teams. So the context is from some mentoring program to other Scrum Masters that are looking for some guidance on their path into become a stronger Agile practitioner. It came the situation where a team did not have enough to crack on in terms of amount of work. Now, this is, in my mind, a fantastic opportunity, right? We don't have enough to do. That means there is not such a pressure in the backlog, which is rare opportunity. And depending how you organize yourself and what else is happening in the organization, certain organizations works in a more traditional, some may say archaic way of behavior, where towards the end of the calendar year, they may do a code freeze. So nothing happens, let's say mid-December onwards for a few weeks, so that when people take time off over the festive season, there is no changes in the system. So that is a quite traditional way to operate, in especially in the software industry. Now, regardless if this is the situation or at any point in the project, if the team reached out or one of the things that surfaces on board, there is not enough to do. In my mind, the first thing you need to look at or help them to look at is, all right, so are the items that we committed, that we consume through sprint, are actually finished? That's the first thing, because only finished things is what brings value. Starting things is very easy. I started trillion things. Only the things that are finished and in the market and in use are the things that, in fact, do bring value. So we need to learn from the things that are in use. So that's going to help us to either persevere, enhancing that path, product, feature, or pivot to something else. So what happens in the conversations is that we often diversify a lot from the code, and that's okay. One way that I try to enable focused conversations is through visuals. And I'm going to share with you some thoughts around how would I structure this conversation as a retrospective with the team. So starting here with a blank canvas, we don't have enough to do. Rather than jumping into a completely unstructured conversation, I find useful to give it a little bit of structure and then give the opportunity for the team to expand. So let's say we are at time of few, we don't have enough to do. What we often find is that there are bottlenecks of stories finished, but not tested, or something along the side. So there is a clear gap in skills, perhaps, or in just surfacing the situation where some may be bored, some may be very busy. At the end of the day, what we committed is not finished. Great opportunity. So that for me calls a bucket for us to improve, which is about skill sets. So we don't have enough to do. We have an opportunity to broaden our skill sets. You may have heard of the concept of T-shaped individuals, where you have a core, like a strong area, but you expand like a T of a person, you expand across different other roles or skills so that you can harden their ability for the team. So that will be skills. I love matrices, so that's going to become a matrix. So that will be bucket one of ideas of items that we could brainstorm on what to do around. Another one, perhaps, is about the product itself. So one of the things that we find often is that there is a lot of pressure for visible features. And because the pressure is so big, other things fall out of view, such as you may have a lot of pressure to deliver items like new products or new offerings and things like that are very visible across not just the organization, but as well your customer base. Whilst other items may lag behind, such as our ability to have proactive monitoring in terms of usage of our own products, or some tactical solutions that have not been hardened, so you generate some technical debt. So here I will probably talk about product, or let's say tech debt. It gives us an opportunity to attack some of the items that may have been left behind. So that's an easy conversation with the team. What are the items that need love in the product? Another bucket here could be about knowledge. So we talk about skills, but also knowledge. How can we harden our knowledge? And here there is a myriad of options that you guys could be talking about. You could be talking about the ability to learn if you're working on software, for example, new languages or new functionality that has come out from some of the pre-bundle software applications, or knowledge about other items or other sections within the organization. So this is another massive bucket of opportunity for people to evolve their practice. There you may be talking as well about knowledge transfer. What happens when somebody goes on holidays? Is there something slowing us down when somebody is missing? If so, let's try to tackle that sort of knowledge gap. In the tech debt area as well, you could be going back. You could be looking at also compliance or security. You could be looking at the storage of data that you're consuming. How you're going to handle that, the reliability of the system, bunch of different things. And then the last section, perhaps in my mind, that you could open up here is about the ability to know if how good we become at what we do. Often you hear this term of DevOps. Perhaps we could be looking at something like that, where it will tell us we want to find out about our cycle time. So from the inception of the idea all the way until that gets delivered. Yeah. So it may be lead time overall or per unit of work, but look across the organization and try to streamline. What would that look? We're going to make it better. Another one would be about the things that we put out there. What is our rate fail? So either when we're pushing things through, are they okay, or do we need to revert back? So that will be another item that you could look, things that you can automate, things that you can enable for the team to be able to see more obvious. And then the last one, which is about when things don't go to plan, which is okay, and that happens often because we can foresee the future. Then the fourth section is about how quickly can we recover from when the things don't go well. And those are metrics that once put in place and maintained either automatically or by just a little bit of manual effort, the team can refer back often and say, are we becoming better at what we do? And the last part is about validation. So out of all of the things that we put out there, actually, are they performing in the way that we expected? Are we increasing sales or reducing churn or reduce the cost of operations? Whatever it is, right? Is there a section for validation so that we learn about the return of investment? So that could be a fairly easy matrix that you can start. You can explain of a team. Hello, we have a fantastic opportunity as we talk during the week where we may have a slightly light on product backlog items. So this is a fantastic opportunity. What we're going to do to get the most out of it? You can talk to them through these 3 or 4, whatever resonates with you the most from the conversations that you have with your team recently, and open the question of, is there any other bucket, section, theme that we could be looking at when we do not have enough ready items to consume from the backlog? Add it here, discuss what that means. And as any retro, you will go through 2 loops. One is about, out of all these things, what they could mean. So you could be adding different stickies on the board. Perhaps the skills would be looking at pair programming for a bit, or apply the concept of the 3 amigos. So before a work of item is picked up, or just before it gets pushed, there's 3 different people in the team, one with more of a consultant sort of analysis head, another more of quality assurance sort of hat on, and the one that's going to perform the work in itself come together, discuss the thing. And then once that's done, they come together, discuss the things, a little bit of a demo, and more things will surface in terms of, oh, have you thought about this area or something like that? So that really helps about broadening the skills, but also about hardening the product. Like that, we touch a little bit what that means, but also discuss with the team. So again, few stickies of what that could be about knowledge, about DevOps, or this idea of improving your own craft. So that will be part 1. Then you decide out of all those things where we're going to put our effort. So you can do dot voting. So everybody has 3 dots, something like that. So how can you decide from a myriad of options? So that's a good thing from not knowing what to do. Now we know a lot. We have a lot of ideas. So out of this, everybody gets 3 dots, and they can either put it all in one item, or 2 in one in another, or 1 in all of them, or something like that. So out of all these potential ideas for us, which one we have the most energy and willingness to tackle first? And for example, if you're talking about broadening the spectrum of knowledge across the organizations, how they operate in different departments, which also can help on increasing influence and relationship and connections across. So once you decide that's the one you're going to tackle, okay, so out of this one, what are the options? What are the things that we can do next week, right? So you try to like divert again into a bit of brainstorming of all the options and then converge. So what are the things we're going to try next week? So 1, 2 things. So don't overload the team with new things. But there you go. Relatively simple way to organize some data. Again, I'm a big fan of matrices just to help the team to structure a little bit the conversations. Visuals are super powerful. The way that helps us to have a connections, focus, and see a similar picture. And with that, I hope I inspire any retro for your team. Do let me know how it goes. Pop a comment down below. And yeah, if any questions or areas you'd like me to tackle next, just let me know. See you soon.